Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everyone. We are so glad you could join us here on Merrifield's Gardening Advisors today. Can you believe it's here?
No, I can't. I can't say, even though we had a long season between Thanksgiving and Christmas, right. It's definitely kind of sneaking up on me.
And I don't know if you're like me, but I am never ready, and I'm not ready yet. So today we're going to help you with that, if you're not ready like me.
I'm not sure that anybody is really as well prepared as you always intend to be. So there's always certainly a lot of last-minute preparations taking place, whether it's finding just that perfect little gift or doing the finishing touches to your decorating. There's always something left to be done. So that's going to be the focus of our program today. So like I said, we've got gift ideas, some decorating tips. We'll also go in, I've got a couple sections on birds, you know, how to add them to your garden, which is also great for the holidays. And of course, we'll be taking the phone calls, so a lot going on this morning.
So we have a full show, so we hope you'll grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, sit down and enjoy the rest of the program today. Before we get started, just a couple of quick announcements. Of course, we hope you'll come by and see us at Merrifield Garden Center. Wanted to let you know what our hours were over the next couple of days, because they will be changing. So today we will be open we open at 8 and we'll be open till 9 p.m. tonight. Tomorrow we will be open Sunday the 23rd from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. There we go. From 7 p.m. tomorrow. On Christmas Eve, Monday, we'll be open from 8 till 5. We'll close at 5, and then of course we'll be closed on Christmas Day. And we do hope you'll come by and you know, take a look at everything and see Santa while you're there. Santa's schedule is listed at our website, merrifieldgardenCenter.com. So he'll be there today and tomorrow, and then he's got to go to the North Pole. So make sure you take advantage of a visit to Santa Claus. And then after Christmas, something special. On the day after Christmas, the 26th, we will be open early at 7 a.m. for the start of our annual After Christmas sale. Now, this is a huge sale, so if you want to get ready for next year's holiday, this is the perfect opportunity. We'll have all of our Christmas decorating items, ready-made arrangements and wreaths, ornaments, decorations, holiday candles, and ribbon and pre-made bows. Artificial trees and greens, that's always a big one. But 40 to 60% off, and actually there's a few things that are 70% off, I'm understanding. So it's a great opportunity. Open at 7 a.m. on December 26th, so take advantage of that.
Yeah, I'm realizing that's great if you're one of those people who actually do plan ahead and plan for the next year. Which is not me. And that's not the focus of today's show.
Not me. While you're there also, we've got going on, especially if you're on our email mailing list, we had sent this out, and on Facebook, that we are having a drawing today at 5 o'clock. So you've got till 5 o'clock to come in and register at any of our 3 locations for a chance to win tickets, 2 tickets to see the Redskins play the Cowboys on December 30th. So we're going to be pulling those names this afternoon. So be sure to stop by and fill out an entry form. You don't have to purchase anything. You have to be 18 to enter, and 1 entry per person per visit. So take advantage of that. And
that sounds like a great Christmas
gift.
It
is. There you go. Yeah, it's like, oh wow, did I pull that off? Right. And I forgot to bring in our seminar schedules. Just came in yesterday. I think it was yesterday. They will start in the middle of January, January 8th, January 19th. So we've got a great schedule, a beautiful brochure. If you're on our mailing list, you'll be receiving that in the mail in the next couple of weeks. But if you want to stop by and pick up a copy, now they're available in all 3 stores. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. Any other things that you have?
No, I mean, it's definitely a busy time of year. But like I said, I hope to see you there at the Garden Center, you know, because things are really looking beautiful.
Absolutely, absolutely. So something that's a beautiful part of Christmas is poinsettias.
Right, and we thought this would be a great sort of last-minute gift or a hostess gift, because I know a lot of times you are visiting family, friends, you know, if you're traveling. Poinsettias are always make a nice gift, and of course they are associated with Christmas. But here what I was trying to do is show some of the varieties that are out there. Like everything in the plant world, the number of varieties and the way that they're displayed has just proliferated. So in this picture, I was trying to demonstrate is really 2 things. The tall white poinsettia is a tree form, which has been trained at what we call standard. That plant is actually standing about 3-4 feet tall, trained up on a stem. And then surrounding it are the ones that are dyed blue and glittered. So that's not truly a blue poinsettia. It's a white one, but then they put a little dye on there and sprinkle a little glitter on it. And again, you've taken a traditional plant and just given a different presentation to it.
Right.
So that's kind of a neat idea that a lot of people are enjoying. The next one that we're going to look at is a variety. It's called Orange Spice. The picture doesn't quite do it justice. I mean, it really isn't true orange color in there. So again, I'm going to say I'm the traditionalist. I like the red ones,
too.
Just that deep, clear red with the green leaves. But hey, depending on your decor, if you have somebody that likes something a little different, this one really, it was pretty. It's just, like I said, different color. That one's Orange Spice. And then we're doing things where they had the weird kind of ruffled petals. It's not truly a petal because, of course, poinsettia, as we know, that little yellow cluster you see in the center, those are the true flowers or blossoms. And then the colorful part that surrounds it, those are actually leaves, but they're modified leaves. Those leaves have adapted to have a different color to it to attract pollinators. And here the growers have developed it where they also get ruffly and frilly, so that's a variety there that's called Carousel. Again, just a different twist or different angle on the same plant or presentation. Then the next picture is showing us essentially what I'm going to call a double flowered, but again, that's a little bit of a misnomer because those are technically leaves or bracts. But here, rather than just that single row of nice star-shaped, colorful bracts around there, it's a double row. So it kind of looks a little bit like a rose. So in fact, this is called a winter rose, and there's both a pink, a red, and there are marbled varieties also.
Right,
that
they're
are out
beautiful
there.
too.
So again, just a big, big list of things going on out there. And then the final picture I showed is in a hanging basket.
Oh, that's spectacular.
Yeah, I really do love this, and I was talking about how much I like the traditional look, but this one really does grab my attention as well. It's a new variety. It's called Ice Crystal, and this one again is grown in a hanging basket. Now the thing, of course, is the varieties, the exact varieties, and the selection does vary between the different stores and everything. At this point in time, if there's a particular one that you saw that you like, you better call first to make sure it's there. But the real point is that we do have poinsettias. It's a great little hostess gift. It's a nice way to decorate your house. And again, as far as caring for them, I think the things that are important is they like to be sort of, I'm going to say moderate temperatures. Somewhere 65 to 75 degrees is perfect for them. If it gets too warm, they'll dry out rapidly.
Right.
And then you need to keep them moist. Not soaking wet, not bone dry. They just like to stay moist in between. If you miss a watering on it, they will let you know immediately with wilting, drooping. And even though the plant can recover from that, it does cause a little shortening of the lifespan on the flowers.
Especially if you kind of tend to repeat that situation in your house. So.
But if you pay attention to the watering, you keep them in a bright indirect light, moderate temperatures, these things will give you color for months.
Absolutely.
I mean, they'll go well into the new year.
And it makes a great hostess gift as well. So.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break and come back with some more ideas to decorate and to gift your friends and family, so stay tuned. Good morning, everyone, and happy holidays. We hope you're enjoying your last weekend before Christmas so far. It's a little chilly out there. It's feeling like the season, winter officially started on Friday, I guess it was. And so here we are just before the season.
I saw a couple snowflakes yesterday.
I did too. It was great.
Exciting?
I have to say I'd love to see some white Christmas.
Oh, I sure would too.
Well, we're going to give you some great ideas for both some decorating and some gift giving. So let's start out. A couple of weeks ago, we were in the store and we just took some footage of some of the great themes that we've got this year for our trees in all three of our stores. So let's roll that footage and just take a look.
I'll say I'm impressed with. There's not many places that really convert their whole store over to a Christmas shop quite as extensively as we do. This is pretty much hard to find in any of the department stores or any place else you'll go.
And as you can see, there's both decorating ideas and then gifts in there too. Well, you've got the nativities, you've got Santas, you've got a little bit of everything, but picture frames and home decor and that type of thing.
And I'll give credit to our designers. You know, this doesn't happen just overnight. You realize in January, they go off to the shows and they start shopping and picking the themes that'll be for the following year. So when you're home just kind of recovering from the holidays, they're already at work planning for the 2013 season.
Absolutely. Nice little vignettes to see. Now we do want to mention, you know, some of the things that you're seeing in there individually, we may or may not still have, but there's lots of great ideas and great ornaments and decorations still available. So I think we've got something kind of neat coming up here. Oh, the snowmen, lots of snowmen.
That's one of the few themes I remember they call snow business.
Right, yes.
Snow business is like no business.
I think we had like 17 or 20 different themes this year. It's just amazing.
And of course,
I'm sorry, this was our Williamsburg. We call it Hope Park because of our ties in this area to our historic property that was associated with George Washington.
And I was going to say, of course, you mentioned this is our Gainesville store. Each store is going to be a little different just because they have different designers, different architecture, space, and layout. So it's kind of neat if you have time, if you're able to, is go through each one because you will see a different display and slightly different selection.
Absolutely. So we're glad to be able to have shared that with you. Give you a little hint of what it looks like at all three of our locations. So do come by. We've got great ideas for to decorate your home, to give as gifts. And I'm going to pull up here as we're coming back out of this video. Peggy is always great about this. Decorating your packages. I don't know if you're like me, you're decorating at the last minute, but if you've got time to make your packages really amazing, come by and pick up some of the beautiful ornaments, and then you can take between ribbon and some of the beautiful ornaments. You can make your packages just look spectacular.
Right. And a little note to the gardeners out there, because it is a gardening show. Of course, this is hydrangea, and we'll give credit to Peggy. You know, she's the one that does it, but just taking the spent hydrangea blooms and spray painting them gold. So a little touch from the garden.
The one that David has here, if you can see that.
Okay. So that, I think, is great. You know, like I said, we talk about decorating your home, decorating your tree, but you know, I never really thought about decorating the packages.
Absolutely. So that's a great way to come in and see what we've got and use that in various different ways. So
yeah, and
it's not just decorating your tree anymore.
Exactly, and I've seen where she uses Christmas ornaments and things also to decorate. Now again, we're talking about some last-minute gift and decorating ideas, so I just brought a fresh green centerpiece in here. You know, and like we're saying, I know I'll be out visiting friends during the holidays, and I hope everybody else is making time to do that. So a fantastic hostess gift, like I say, if you are visiting family, just, you know, everybody can appreciate having a nice centerpiece on the table.
Right. Well, and we are known for having these beautiful fresh green arrangements, which our designers are creating as we speak, actually, and we will have those available up through Christmas Eve. So if you need a last-minute as you say, hostess gift or a decoration for your table, you know, come by and get one of these. They smell so wonderful, and they're nice and fresh and beautiful.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'll say is we do dip our fresh greens into wilt-proof, which helps to seal the moisture in there, which gives them more longevity in the house as well. So. Again, that's just one of the ideas that's out there.
That's right. Another one we wanted to mention, I know David Culp was on the show a few weeks ago, and he has written a beautiful book called The Layered Garden. We've talked about that before, but we do have copies available at our store. So if you're a gardener, this makes a great, great gift.
Yeah. Definitely, and we'll just kind of keep going down because I know Debbie and I, we just went through and started filling up our basket with all different things that I know I would like to have.
Exactly.
And so I brought one of my favorites, which I'll just move to the center of the table so we can see, is I just love the having the fragrance of fresh greens in the house, but also here is one that's from the Times. It's a diffuser, if we can see that. Basically, you put the oils in there. This one
I need to lift this up because there we go. This is the diffuser.
Right. This one is Fraser Fir, which is a very popular one because it really does have the fragrance of Fraser Fir. They're very wonderful. I know a lot of people, if you have artificial trees and artificial greens, maybe that's a nice way to do it. And it does come in a nice gift pack.
I'm going to pick this up so you can see it, but it's very nicely done in a gift box.
Right, and there's others. There's the smell of Christmas. There's mistletoe, and along with these, there's potpourri that accompanies it, as well as air fresheners. So there's a whole variety of ways that you can add these fragrances to your home.
Right. Oh, and candles. As we've got the desk decorated here, candles are a great idea too. So. And we've got the Stonewall kitchen items, just lots of great ideas. But while I've got this here,
you better show off the nutcracker.
Better show off the nutcracker here. We have, I don't know if you were able to come by, but Carla Steinbach was in our stores a week or so ago, and she had come over and was hand signing each and every, you could bring yours that you had from home or purchase one. But before she left, she actually signed the bottom of all the ones that we have left, so you can have an authentic signature on your nutcracker, on your Steinbach nutcracker, and we've got several still available. That makes a wonderful, wonderful gift.
Yeah, so obviously those are collectible. They are handcrafted in Germany, but when you have her signature on it, just automatically is adding value to them.
She is such a wonderful person too. So fun to listen to, and her stories, and just great. Well, we just touched the surface. There's a lot more ideas. Come by the stores and take a look. But we're going to have to take a quick break. We'll come back in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Merrifield's Gardening Advisor. We're talking about some last-minute decorating and gift ideas. So hopefully we've got some great ideas for you. We feel we do. Birds. Not only are there great presents for bird lovers, but bringing birds into your landscape is just wonderful. That's something that lasts year after year after year. We were talking about presents earlier. This is something that's really, really neat. Hold this the right way here. This is a suet bird wreath. So you can put this up and the birds can just eat off of that to their heart's delight. And this is a great gift. Actually, this one's going up to Pennsylvania with me tomorrow to see my mother-in-law, who luckily is not seeing this, so she won't know what she's getting tomorrow.
Yeah, so don't anybody tell her.
Don't tell my mother-in-law that she's getting one of these. But I think this is a really neat gift.
Oh, it is, and everybody likes birds. Like I say, you don't necessarily have to be a gardener. It's something everybody can enjoy. And so also I brought this little snowman bird feeder in. This one does hold sunflower seed. I know it doesn't look so much like a bird feeder, but during the holidays, like say, you have things like the bird seed wreath or a snowman feeder, because it obviously picks up on the holiday theme, but then it continues to give you lots of enjoyment.
Well, that's what I was going to say. This one is perfect for all winter long.
Yeah,
it's not so holiday-ish, so that's
But we only carry them during the season,
during
the
So
holiday
get
season.
them now.
So you have to get it now. Is exactly it.
Well, we have another great idea concerning the birds, and you've seen it before. We've got a great set of videos for sale, and we brought along a little clip so you could kind of get an idea of what this is like.
Right. Now, as you'd mentioned, this comes from Better Bird Watching, and they did produce a video a couple years ago, but this is a brand new release. And what they've done is, of course, is set it to the music of Vivaldi's Four Seasons.
Right.
So he took both the winter movement and then also the spring movement and added the bird footage to it. Again, I don't care whether you're a bird watcher, gardener, or even if you're happen to be shut in or something, who wouldn't enjoy just in the background having both the music and then the action of the birds there. And of course, Joe LaFleur, who actually produces these videos, he's been to our store and offered a little seminar there, so you may have had an opportunity to meet him. But he's obviously knows about birds, and he produces both the sound recordings as well as the video. And
these are just clips put together. It's not quick little tidbits like this. This is just to give you an idea of what these are like, but they are great, great videos.
Yeah, I'm looking at the video itself, and it says it has a colorful cast of 225 different birds that are in there. So I thought this was a fantastic stocking stuffer kind of idea that's out there, because it's not expensive and it's small enough to fit into the stocking. So again, if you're out there last minute looking for something different to give to a friend or family, that's something you certainly want to consider. Now this is both the spring and the winter movements in there. We just showed some of the winter survival that's in there, but it's the combination set. Now the other one that I wanted to just mention briefly, this has been around for a couple of years, but this is the first one, and is birds in Virginia and West Virginia.
There so you can see it. There we go.
The thing that I really like about this is, again, it is local in Virginia and West Virginia, so it's got that regional focus on there. This one is not set to music. This really is to help you identify the birds that are out there. So it just has the natural sound background. It has their bird songs, which again, we love playing this one in the store because it's really just very relaxing when you hear just the sounds of the outdoors and the sound of the birds. There's no narration over it, just shows them in their natural habitat. So it's a little more extensive. It's like I said, it's for people that really want to be able to learn to identify the birds.
Right.
Whereas the little clip that we showed is set with a musical background, which again, I'm put over here away from my Santa, which is why I'm calling it a great stocking stuffer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, and if you're looking for something to do all winter long, feeding the birds is just a wonderful, wonderful pastime. So we've got lots of bird feeders and houses available too, and I think you brought a few pictures.
Right, so I can't bring the whole selection in, so we brought a few pictures in. These are some that I wanted to feature. And again, I'll have to say the selection varies a little bit between the stores and store to store, so you just need to come in and look at it, or if there's something in particular that you want, give us a call first. Now, these are made by a company that's called Heartwood. They're made down in Mississippi. They're made out of cypress. Everything is fashioned sustainably. They use sustainable materials in making it, as well as practices. For example, the cypress wood that they use, they do not cut down any trees to build these. They use some of the smaller pieces of lumber, byproducts from the lumber industry, and they collect essentially the scraps, though it's a good quality wood, and use them in constructing the birdhouses.
Is this called Potter's Place?
That's the name of this particular style.
Okay.
It does have that kind of whimsical look about it. And again, even the paints that they use are recycled. So
well, I love the little garden gnome there too. There's always so we have such cutesy little ornaments and home decor and garden ornaments that are available.
Exactly.
I love those little gnomes.
I'm showing off the bird houses, and somebody's going to purchase the gnome.
Right.
You can see how that one's going to work exactly. Another one, just to give you an idea, is the Plymouth Church. Again, this is from that same company, Heartwood, again made out of cypress. And I like to emphasize as much as possible I'm bringing in American-made products. That's one of the reasons I was emphasizing that it's made down here in Mississippi and used with sustainable products and practices. Again, of course, that church motif, even though it's a little bit of a contemporary style, it's really, really nice and good choice for Christmas.
Yeah.
So they call that one the Plymouth Church. This is a little more the classical look that goes on. Again, these are made down in North Carolina by a company called Fancy Homes. It's really two brothers that get together and produce these, but that has the copper roof on there and very, very nice sort of classical look that goes on there. So they come in different sizes and styles and everything. I just showed this one has, I think, 8 portals on it. And then the next one I'll show is actually a bird feeder that comes from the same company that shows with a copper roof on there, but has what they call sort of a patina finish on it. So those are some of the larger ones.
Right, and these are available at all 3 locations?
I was out at Gainesville. I know they have them at Gainesville. I know we have them at our Fair Oaks store. I'd have to double check.
And we do have them at Merrifield as well.
Okay, good. Then we've got them in all 3 stores. But again, the selection may vary a little bit.
Great.
Now, super quick, I just wanted to show, because we carry all different styles. Now, this Squirrel Buster, if you do have squirrels as a problem, Squirrel Buster makes a whole series of feeders. This is the mini. I just brought in the smallest one. And the idea here is, of course, a bird can perch in here and feed on it, but if a squirrel perches to feed on it, it pulls the door shut on them. And these come in sort of the mini, the classic, the Finch, I think they call it the super. So they come in all different sizes depending on what your bird feeding habits are. So if squirrels, because that's one thing with those nice handmade houses I was showing, those of course are available to squirrels. This one sort of locks them out. That's
a good idea, because they are crafty little guys. Those squirrels can get into things.
They are, and I know I'm running over on time, but super quick. Also have to put in a plug for the bird seed, because we do feature the Coles bird seed at all 3 of our stores, which really is a premium quality, very clean seed mix. They vacuum seal the bags, so we've never had any problems with insects in it or anything like you do get with some of the lower grade mixes. This one I select is called the hot meats because we were talking about squirrels. This one is infused with a hot pepper so that the squirrels will leave it alone.
Great idea. Well, I love to give theme gifts too, so a bird feeder and some seed is a great idea. Well, when we come back, David is going to go to our virtual garden and give you some ideas of plants that will make great gifts and will bring birds to your landscape. We'll be right back.
All right, 3 days and counting. You feel the pressure out there. Christmas is going to be here. Both the excitement of it coming, but then also feeling the pressure of getting everything ready for the entertaining and to celebrate. So we've been sharing ideas for gifts. We talked a lot in the last segment about birds and how you could provide for the birds. And this obviously may not look like a Christmas theme, but if you stick with me, you'll see how it all fits. Because now I'm going to transition into talking about creating a bird-friendly garden. And I thought this was a good example, because essentially what we need to do to bring birds into our gardens is to provide the habitat. Essentially, you put the food, shelter, and water out there, and the birds will show up. And this landscape incorporates all those elements. It might be a little hard to spot, but this is actually a pond back in here. So we've got the water that's out there. Plants provide both the shelter and a source for food that's out there. Because of course the birds during the growing season in the summertime like this, their primary food is on the insects. So we have to have plants that provide food for the insects, and then the birds feed on the insects that are feeding on the plants. And then during the winter time, they switch over and supplement their diet primarily with seeds that are provided by plants. So it really is, as I say, all about the plants. So those are the elements, and also the trees that provide the shelter for them. So you can see some evergreens in the background where they can build their nests and hide from predators. So this is the kind of landscape that would draw and attract lots of birds that are out there. Now, one of the things that we really want to do is try to promote and encourage the use of native plants. A landscape like this is using everything from, you might be able to see in the background, back here I think we've got some bananas, which are obviously not a native, but we also have things like the juniper, the birch trees back here, the joe pye down in front. So we're incorporating both natives and ornamental plants in there. But the next picture I show kind of brings a little more emphasis of the native plants into it. And I'm saying this because what happens is our native plants are what most of the native insects are adapted to feed on, and most of our native birds will feed specifically on those particular insects or sometimes particular seeds and berries in the season. So where we can, I'm not really saying native only, but where we can, we want to incorporate and use natives to the extent we can. So an example like this, you can see where I was standing, I was blocking our native magnolia, the Sweet Bay magnolia. A little hard to see, but right behind is a low evergreen shrub. It's called inkberry holly. It's so useful in our landscapes because it tolerates these kind of moist environments. And this area is in a poorly drained location, so you have things like the Lobelia cardinalis, that bright crimson red blossom that's in there. In the foreground, clethra. Again, these are all the natives I'm emphasizing. But then also some introduced plants, like the Russian sage in the background and the hydrangeas, the limelight hydrangea. Now this picture was obviously taken in July, but I kind of want to start out giving you an idea of the type of habitat that we're going to provide, and also give you ideas of plants that would fit into there. Now a close-up, this inkberry holly that's in the background, we're going to look at a close-up in it. And the inkberry, it does produce berries that's just not really well known for it because they're black in color. So you actually need to get up close and look in there to find them in there. But this is a shrub type of holly. It's going to grow to a height of anywhere from about 4 to 8 feet. and I said does well in poorly drained areas. So this provides habitat, meaning there's shelter, evergreen shelter, where birds can hide from predators and build their nests, and it also provides berries that they can feed on. So that would be a plant to consider. And now this is how it starts to tie into our Christmas theme. Of course, you also have the greens, which can fit into your holiday decorations. The next one we'll look at is another holly. This one is called winterberry. It sheds its leaves, and of course the berries are this bright crimson red. Now there are other varieties that also have sort of yellow or orange berries into it. Some stay as low as 3 feet, others will go as high as 12 feet. So there's a lot of varieties to choose from, but a great native plant for creating habitat, for creating winter interest, and also you've seen us using these in our holiday fresh greens for cuttings out there. So that would be another one. Of course, with these hollies, if it's the berries you want, you need to have 2 of them. The female produces the berries, and of course the male as the pollinator. Another great native plant for the landscape use is the red cedar, which is technically, it's a juniper, Juniperus virginiana, but it's called red cedar. And that's this tall, upright evergreen that you're seeing right here. This is a variety that was developed for landscape use. It gives us a nice dense growth and kind of that blue-green color. You'll see these growing all along the roadsides, and they tend to be a dark green, but this one was one I think they call gray owl or silver owl that's developed a little bit of color to it. So again, this is providing shelter, because the birds, they need places to hide from their predators, shelter against the weather extremes, so they'll build their nests in here. And if you get up close and look inside, you'll also find it produces a berry or fruit that they can feed on. So you'll see that in our close-up picture, of course, the juniper berries. And that blue-green color that's in there is so nice to incorporate in our holiday greens as well. So again, this is a great thing to add to your garden, both for the birds and for your decorating, as well as creating privacy, and they're tough and they're durable. I'll go through the next few quickly because I know I brought way too many pictures in. We're talking about birds, but so I had to put the cardinal in there. Boy, he looks big. But he's in there feeding on the juniper, feeding on those berries. We'll keep moving along here because we want to talk about plants. Bayberry. Bayberry, again, it's an evergreen, but it does shed a lot of its interior growth, so maybe we call it almost semi-evergreen. The berries itself are used a lot in holiday decorating because of their fragrance. Now, the berries are not particularly edible by birds. There's only one species of bird, a yellow-rumped warbler, that will feed on these. But I still included it because it fit with our holiday theme. Nice to incorporate in your decorating, but also nice to incorporate in your landscape as a durable evergreen. And again, it will provide shelter for their nesting. So bayberry's one, and then a couple others I'll go through super quick because the staghorn sumac we put in, you can see the berry on this persists late into the season, and the birds love feeding on that. The plant itself is a little bit unruly, and staghorn sumac is not used in the landscape, but there's a variety that's called yellow eyes that's been developed where the leaf is a bright yellow color, or tiger eyes is with a variety name that is now used in landscapes. So that's a staghorn sumac. The next one is called a fragrant sumac. These are closely related to things like the poisonous sumac and poison ivy, but these are really harmless. You don't get any kind of dermal reaction, but you want to be a little careful, make sure you get the right plant there. This is used sometimes as a low ground cover shrubby hedge type of thing. Again, they do shed their leaves in the winter time, but the berries provide food and the plants provide shelter. And I have one last one to look at because I thought it'd be appropriate here as we're going into the winter months. It's not just evergreens, but things like our native river birch. The birds will feed on the catkins, the seed pods that are produced on this in the late summer, but it provides a lot of winter interest in your landscape as well, both in the form of the tree and also this beautiful peeling, exfoliating bark. So those are a few great plants you can add to your landscape for birds, for the holidays, for decorating, serving a whole range of purposes. Back to Debbie.
Thank you, David. Thank you for those great ideas. Those are super additions to anyone's landscape, so I hope you'll take advantage of that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to take your phone calls. So if you have any questions, please give us a call, 703-387-1046. We'll talk to you in just a couple of minutes. got little garden gnomes everywhere, isn't he?
Little Papa Noel.
That's right. They're great, though. Fun, fun, fun. Well, we're taking your phone calls. If you have any gardening questions, just want to say hi, 703-387-1046. And David, our first caller is Anthony, who's calling from Fort Washington. Hi, Anthony.
Hello, good morning.
Well,
Good
good morning.
How are
and
you?
Merry Christmas.
Hey, doing fine. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
What it is that I was putting down a new lawn in the front of my yard, and I put down 4 inches of topsoil, and I put down my seeds like the 15th of October, and I got the grass to grow. They grew to about 4 inches tall, and I cut it the first week of December. But now I notice I got some bare spots. Now, should I put down more seed, or should I just put down some more fertilizer and then wait till later on in the winter or early spring to put down some seeds to cover my bare spots?
Yeah. Well, Anthony, I'd say you're done for the year. I mean, the soil temperatures are really too cold now to get any benefit from seeding. I mean, the thing is, you could do, if you want to, you could do what we call dormant seeding. Essentially, you're seeding those bare spots. But realistically, the soil temperatures, the way they are now, I don't think you're going to see any of that seed germinate or sprout until next spring. So you could do it now, but I think you'd be better off just waiting and trying to tackle these problems area next spring, probably sometime around, March, April time period. And really our cutoff date for fertilizing lawn is around December 15, because it's the same thing where this late in the season, your root growth, I guess there's still some root growth taking place, but it's slowing down. So I'd say take some time off, enjoy the holidays, and then probably you want to touch base with us sometime in March, early April. You can repair the bare spots, and as soon as you get that grass grown in, then you'll want to get down some weed control to get ahead of that problem.
All right, David, I really appreciate that. That's some good information. I really appreciate your show, and I record you every Saturday morning.
Okay, well, thank
great.
you. We sure appreciate that.
Thank you. Have a
Okay.
great rest of the holiday season and a Happy New Year, too.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do we have another caller? Okay. Ravi is calling from Vienna. Great. Hey, Ravi, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. How about you?
Good,
Oh,
thanks.
fantastic.
I had a question about an indoor plant, the Masangiana cane. I had purchased two of these plants, one short and one tall, and put them in a potted plant close to a western-facing window. The leaves started turning brown, and then now they have almost everything. Everything is gone, and I'm not sure what's causing the problem with these plants.
So you're saying everything's gone. It's not unusual to have one or two browning leaves, but have all the leaves brown and come off of there?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
Okay. As far as what are you doing with the watering on them?
I might have. I wasn't sure regarding how much, what was the moisture level in the soil. So maybe I might have overwatered, or I'm not sure what really happened.
Okay.
But is that a way to make the plant grow again, or?
Well, the first thing I would check on is for the entire plant to die like that, is I'm concerned if the roots rotted on there. This is a fairly easy plant to grow, but one thing that can happen is if you don't allow for the water to drain out of there, or if you water it excessively to the point where that soil stays really wet, those roots will literally just drown and die in there. So what I would do is I would suggest you take one of it, sort of lift it out of the pot, some place where you can make a mess. If those roots have all turned mushy and brown, then the plant's probably beyond salvaging. And that's the first thing that I would check on it. If you pull the plant out and the roots look good or look healthy on it, then you live in Vienna, I'd invite you to bring the plant into our garden center, have one of our plant specialists look at, see if they can determine what the problem is. But my first suspect is if it's a watering problem.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll look into that, and maybe I can bring it in at the Merrifield Garden Center, located close by.
Right, and in the future, the thing is that you do want to water it well. You want to soak the plant, but then allow it to dry out between waterings. And it's really important that I feel like if you're growing plants in containers, every container must have drainage holes so any excess water can drain through there. So that's true whether it's a poinsettia or a corn cane. So thanks for the call.
Thank you very much, David, for your time.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. We're going to take a quick break and come back with more of your phone calls. Stay tuned. Okay, our hour is flying by, so let's hurry on into our next phone caller, Susie, who's calling from Charlotte Hall. Hi, Susie.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas
How
to
are
you.
you?
I'm fine. I have 2 plants that I got this summer, and actually I planted in my garden, I planted in my mother's garden, and I made a new plant garden for my sister Christine.
Great.
They are hot lip sage and gora, and they're still blooming.
Wow,
So-
good for you.
When should I cut them back, or should I cut them back?
I'm surprised they're still flowering for you. I mean, they are perennials that will go dormant during the winter time. You know, I mean, they'll shed their leaves and they'll go to sleep for the winter time. But you must have them in a right little microclimate or something where they're continuing to blossom for you. So
Just in the garden.
yeah. So I'm going to just say, hey, enjoy it as long as it lasts. Now, myself, my perennials, I usually wait and cut them back more towards, late February or March. I enjoy having, just even if they're bare stems, I'll leave a lot of that above ground, just to provide, I don't know, a little bit of habitat that's there and a little bit of interest or structure in the garden. But essentially, the way I phrase is, you can prune off anything that's brown and just, but if it's green, we leave it alone. So that means normally you could go in now, but if yours is still blooming, enjoy what little bit is there. But then by, let's say, no later than the middle of March, you'll want to go in there, cut back any brown stuff that's there, clean the plants up, and they will regenerate and they'll come back from the existing root system.
Okay, that's good.
Great.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Okay, thanks for the call and enjoy your new plants.
Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, let's see. Rob is calling from Arlington. Hi, Rob.
Hey, good morning. How are you all?
Great.
We're great.
Good. Listen, I have about a 45-year-old mountain laurel that I had to trim back to about 3 feet for various reasons. And I would like to transplant the mountain laurel because it's doing quite well right now. But I'm wondering if it's all right if I do it as long as the ground is not frozen, and if there's any special consideration I need to do with the mountain laurel.
You can really do it any time as long as the ground's not frozen. So I'm going to say any time between now and, let's say, next March, while it's dormant, is the best time to transplant it. I am concerned mountain laurels can be temperamental plants. You've been tremendously successful with it, but it's not always the most reliable plant in the landscape. It's very particular about drainage. So as far as when you move it to its new home, and make sure that it's an area that's well drained. A lot of times the heavy clay soils, I do a little extra work in amending it because we want that moist but well-drained conditions. And of course, even though it's an old mature plant, the minute you transplant and move it, that becomes a new plant. So you'll have to pay very close attention to the watering because with mountain laurels, we're trying to find that delicate balance of being moist but well-drained. So I would prefer to leave it alone and not move it. Ain't broke, don't fix it, but it sounds like you're in a situation where that's not an option. So I think there's a risk when you move an old plant. There's a greater risk when you move an old plant as temperamental as mountain laurel. So no special steps in it, just make sure where you plant it you have exceptionally well-drained conditions.
And should I place some rocks at the bottom of the hole then, in the new hole where I'm placing it?
Personally, I'm not. I know people do that. I'm not really into that. But what I like is there's a product that's called Permatil. It's rock, but it's been put into a kiln, so it's fractured, it's fired up. And I do like Permatil for plants that are particularly sensitive about drainage, and mix that in with the soil that you're going to use to backfill into the planting hole.
Gotcha.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a
Good
great
luck with
holiday.
it.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's see. Glenn is calling from Clifton. How are you, Glenn?
Okay, thank you.
Good. What's your question?
I have about an acre of land around the house, and I can't seem to control Creeping Charlie in the yard.
Okay. Now, primarily in the lawn area, or is this more in garden and landscape beds?
It's just the lawn area.
Okay. There's a product. It's a particular product, so it's made by Bonide. B-O-N-I-D-E is the company name. And it's called Chickweed, Clover, and Oxalis Killer. That I found is the best and most effective product on controlling the Creeping Charlie. I think it's too late in the year to be spraying it now, and it is a spray. But next spring, when you start to see the plants actively growing, so we're probably looking at late March, early April, depending on the weather, that would be your time to apply it.
Okay, because I've tried Oxalis, I think it's by Ortho. It seems to kill it for a while and then it comes back.
Yeah, I've had better success with the Bonide product. It is a different combination of active ingredients, so it's, even though it has the same name, it's a different product. So try the Bonide product next spring when the Creeping Charlie's growing.
Okay, and that's in a liquid form that I could use just in a sprayer?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You buy it in a concentrate form, mix it in your sprayer. But I've had good luck with it. It may take 2 applications, but a lot of times even 1 application nails it.
Okay. And where can I obtain that, do you think?
Well, I know you can get it at our store, Merrifield Garden Center, because it is a little bit of a specialty product. I don't think you'll find it at any of the large chain stores.
Very good.
Thanks so much for the call. You have a great holiday and a great weekend. And my apologies to Maria. Stay on the line and we'll give you a call back. We've just run out of time. The hour just flies by.
Never enough time, is there?
I know. Well, thank you all for watching today. We hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Hope we've given you some great ideas today. We've got a lot of things coming up next week. While you're in, I forgot to mention, pick up one of our free gardening calendars for the year. It's great. Anything you'd like to say to everybody?
Well, mostly I want to say if you are traveling during the holidays, please be safe out there, because I know a lot of us, including myself, will be on the road out there.
Yep, we will be too. Yep. Next week we're going to be talking about the new year of gardening. We're actually going to take the calendar and kind of take you through the year with some great gardening ideas. So on behalf of all of us at Merrifield Garden Center, we hope you have a wonderful holiday. Take care. Bye-bye.